everyone, my name is Elliot and welcome to the Elliot Show. Today we're here with...
Me, I'm Dak. Hi.
Fight at the playground. Everyone here can't push me down. Fight at the playground. Can't catch me when I run around.
Hi, how are you doing? I heard you were feeling a little sick this last couple of days.
I was feeling really pretty sick. I'm still off and on, not feeling that good, but I am on the better side right now. I just held my Patreon meetup yesterday and I felt like I was dying the entire time. I was like, oh, I'm doing great, guys.
You were just telling me that you auditioned for a Disney show?
So Elliot was asking me if I'm a little nervous. I responded, yeah, a little bit. And they said, yeah, I'm a little nervous too. And then I had mentioned that I actually auditioned for a Disney Channel show one time and I blew it super bad because I was so nervous and I was really monotone the entire interview. And the guy asked me, do you even want to be here? And I was like, yeah. But it seemed like I didn't want to be, and he just kind of called it and I left and I cried.
So I have some questions for you. Tell us who you are, everything that we need to know, the basics, what you do, age, nationality, everything.
Okay, so my name is Dak. I'm just a pup. My favorite color is red. I am American, and I'm a bull terrier.
How did you found the fandom, and how does being a furry impact you negatively and positively? So
I found the fandom when I was a little kid on the internet because I was obsessed with talking animals. I kind of always have been. Lion King was my favorite thing in the world. And before I could even talk, really. I didn't actually talk until I was about 6 years old because I have autism. Delayed speech is a symptom of that. I found it through the internet. I found the furry fandom through the internet. And I found it through a game called Second Life, which I shouldn't have been on because I was way too young, but I was. I was like, ooh, furry avatars are cool. Well, I didn't even know they were furries. I was like, ooh, animal people avatars are cool. And then I started wearing them in public and people were like, oh, you're a furry? I was like, what's a furry? And then I learned from there.
We have to address the elephant in the room, or should I say the baby elephant in the room. You consider yourself a baby fur. Can you tell us a bit about how that came to be? What does it mean to be a baby fur? And what are the misconceptions about the baby fur culture?
Basically, I do identify as a baby fur, but I don't really have an age for my character necessarily. My character would be, if I had to give it a human equivalence, he would probably be 9 years old. I understand that people would call me a kid fur, but baby fur is the spectrum term for all younger characters, kind of to most people. If you told people oh, I'm a kid furry, they'd be like, oh, so you're a baby fur. So I'm not really a baby fur, but I'm a baby fur. You know what I mean? A lot of people have misconceptions that baby furs are attracted to children. We're not. And at least I'm not, for sure. I'll tell you that much, because I like old, fat men.
How did you find your love for music and what inspired you to start it? Is that something that runs in your genetics, or were you introduced to it by an external force?
So I grew up with music a lot in my life. I could play piano better than I could talk. When I was 6 is kind of when I started being able to talk, and I started doing speech therapy. And I was playing piano around that time as well. That was my first audio connection to the world.
Were you classical musician?
I'd actually just copy anything I'd hear from TV. I first started copying a bunch of music from Willy Wonka because I was very obsessed with that movie as a child. And I'd copy all the music from Willy Wonka or Lion King or whatever. I was just really into imitating sounds. All my brothers play music. Every one of my brothers plays music. My older brother plays drums and guitar. I play bass, drums, keyboard, guitar. I do vocals. My little brother plays drums and bass. And my dad plays guitar. And my mom plays violin. So we're all super musical people. So it might be genetic.
Me and a friend of mine, I think you know him, it's Barley the cat.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so me and Barley the cat are obsessed with your music, and we're also huge into hyperpop. Do you identify as a hyperpop musician? And how does being a baby fur impacts your lyrics and musicality?
I would describe myself as a hyperpop adjacent musician because I don't make just pure hyperpop. I kind of just take influences of hyperpop and like make a little hybrid with whatever I'm interested at the time or whatever project I'm working on. Hyperpop and like baby fur go together like super well because it's like playful, it's like energetic, you know, it's like very kid core, like, you know, like very bright and colorful. It's like the primary colors of music, you know.
Do you think musicians have a hard time reaching the mainstream or popularity inside of the furry fandom bubble? What's your experience ever since you started making music?
I do think it could be something that can stop you from reaching mainstream like levels of attention or money or whatever you're looking for. It definitely there is a cap if you're making furry music, but I feel like that cap is a good thing and it keeps you in a safe space and it keeps you within your community. So it just depends on how you want to do it. I've tried the mainstream artist route like a million times. I've had a million projects. I've done it. I've looked for success, spent money on music videos, etc. I don't care about that now. I've actually found my home here in the baby fur fandom. I actually have had the opportunity to work with some mainstream artists. I don't know, like popular underground musicians, I guess that'd be how I would say it.
Any examples?
I'm not sure if people will be mad at me for mentioning this. I'm not sure if I'm just going to say it. It doesn't really matter. So Marcy Main contacted me and wanted to work with me. A lot of people don't know maybe who Marcy Main is. If you're like, most furries probably don't know who Marcy Main is, but they're a really cool artist. I really respect them. They do like a lot of fashion. They do a lot of music, and they're like, I want to work with you. I had a little fight with one of our mutuals who was Mutants Mixtapes. I'm not sure if y'all remember that furry drama on Twitter or whatever. He said a bunch of mean stuff to me before Sero Fest, the music festival online that I was kicked out of. He went into the chat and said a bunch of mean stuff to me. And he works with Marcy Main, apparently. Like, they do something together. I don't really know what. I don't think Marcy Main's probably going to work with me now. But he still follows me, so I don't know. I hit him up and I was like, hey, dude, don't worry about it. Like, if you don't want to work with me, I totally understand. Like, I had beef with, like, one of your friends or something or whatever. But I was really excited to work with Marcy Main because I really rep Flexico, like, super hard. And I love Flexico, and that's kind of my shit.
What is the secret to becoming a good musician, both on a producing and lyric writing level?
So if you're lucky enough to be able to do both, which not everyone is, it's having just a good ear and like knowing what sounds corny and what doesn't sound corny. And like, so I mean, it's just wielding aesthetics. It's like getting an essence and wielding it and waving it around just the right way.
Does your musical taste extend to other genres, and what are the artists you admire outside of the hyperpop or like adjacent hyperpop kind of genre? And do you collect vinyl or CDs?
I listen to a lot of music. A lot of people wouldn't expect me to listen to. So I love everything from like really, really old blues music from like the 1920s. I like old crappy scene music from like the MySpace days. I like everything from like 100 gecs to, I don't know, like Kanye West to like, I don't know, like I like Shy Girl a lot. I guess that's all hyperpop, kind of. Some of it's hyperpop.
Do you prefer the original 100 gecs album or the remix version?
I like both a lot. The remixes were super fun, and they had artists that I really liked in my youth. Like them working with 303 is like iconic. Because 303 back in the day was a big deal. They were like definitely in the crunkcore genre, like during the MySpace days, which is like super inspiring to me. I love that. I thought it was super cool that they worked with them. So I mean, there's not really a yes or no. I got actually a fun little story to tell you real quick. I really like 3-6 Mafia. They're like one of my favorite collectives ever. When I actually got shoulder surgery, I came out of my, like, I don't know what they call it, anesthetic or whatever. Like I was on the anesthetic, and as I was coming out of it, I kept on telling the nurse and everyone around me, and like doctors and stuff, I was telling them, I want to listen to 3-6 Mafia. All I do is want to listen to 3-6 Mafia. That's all I want to do. And they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, 3-6 Mafia, 3-6 Mafia. And they're like, what the fuck? I listened to 3-6 Mafia on the way home in the car with my arm completely numb and I couldn't move it. And I kept on saying sexually explicit things that everyone was laughing at. I was like, I want to listen to 3-6 Mafia and I want to fuck my boyfriend. Also, I do collect vinyl. My vinyl collection used to be a lot bigger, but I've trimmed it down over time. And I have tons of like boomer vinyl, like Yes and like Dark Side of the Moon, like all the basic boomer vinyls, like Black Sabbath, all the classics, like progressive rock, all that stuff. Because I listen to everything. I just love music. I have to drop credit where it's due. I love Tobacco and I love Black Moth Super Rainbow. Those are like my favorite. They're both projects by Tom Feck. He's one of my favorite producers of all time.
I have noticed that you have been releasing some new tracks on Spotify lately. Is it safe to say that we're expecting a new EP or album soon? And what can you tell us about it?
So I am going to be releasing a album because I've only released tons of singles. I've released 10 singles so far, which is like almost enough to make an album. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of my favorite songs that I've released so far, maybe 5 new songs, and make an album. I've got tons of cool album artwork that I'm going to release that's done by my friend Red Light Dog on Twitter. He's amazing. He has literally just like pumped out tons of art and just handed it to me and said, here you go. I believe in your project. I think you're awesome. Here's album art for you. And I want to put it on a vinyl.
Yeah, shout outs to your friend
Red Light Dog on Twitter.
One of your tracks, Bite, was produced by Goji, another very well recognized furry musician. How was it like working with them? Your introduction to each other, and how was your workflow?
I met them through Twitter. You know, they were kind of nervous about working with me because I am a baby fur, and I totally understand why. And unfortunately, they got a lot of flack for working with me because I don't know. I have no idea. I guess people are mad that my virtual musician character is a puppy. Oh no, terrifying. You think everyone loves puppies, there'd be a problem, but...
I mean, your song is called Bite, so pretty spooky stuff.
Yeah. Oh. Me and Goji are good friends. They go by Elliot. That's how I know them. They're super awesome.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh.
I'm a big fan of theirs. They make awesome music. I do produce my own music a lot of times, and sometimes I work with other producers, but I have to also give credit to my friend Durzo Down, or Durzo. Their name is Durzo Down on Twitter, so they're like my audio engineer. They like make sure everything doesn't sound like crap. Working with Goji was really cool, and it was like kind of like a one-off thing, and we're probably not going to work ever together again because the fandom is mad that we work together. But almost every song I release will be mastered and mixed by Durzo. Something I want to mention, I have to give credit to the people who've helped me, because this is not just me. This is like an amalgamation of all the people that I'm really close with, like helping me make this a dream. My boyfriend like shoots all the videos, and like I'm just basically like a composer and a vocalist. I don't do any like engineering work. Like I'm not like an audio master. I sit there like with the EQ and the compression. Like I just slap some samples together, or I play the piano, and then it's there.
Now moving on to the last segment of the video, which is first we're going to do a little plug. If you want to plug something in this video, like,
I'll take that chance, and I will tell you that I am DaxBak on everything, which is DaxBak. If you want to find me on any platform, it'll be DaxBak. On Spotify, SoundCloud, on YouTube, on TikTok, on whatever you could imagine. I'm there. I'm here to interact with my fan base, and I love you very much. Thank you for making my dreams come true. It's
and
amazing.
Also Twitch, right?
Yeah, oh my god, I forgot about Twitch. Twitch is a big deal for me. I'm really having fun with Twitch. I've created a really tiny, like, very interactive community on there that I'm hoping to grow and do stuff with, because it's really fun. I actually didn't know anything about Twitch before I started Twitch. Twitch is amazing.
What's your favorite little space and non-little space VR world? Also, favorite Disney movie and why?
I love you, Jamesy. You're amazing. They were at my Patreon meetup yesterday. Also, I forgot to plug my Patreon. I do have a Patreon. My favorite little space world is Cushy Corner. Cushy Corner is the best. Okay, that is the place to go. If you are a baby fur, or you're ABDL, or if you just like want comfort and you want to go back to your childhood before everything got all crazy in your brain and just want to relax, Cushy Corner is the place to go. My favorite non-little space world? I don't even know. Like, probably Fur Hub. I like to go to Fur Hub and yell at people. It's really fun. My favorite Disney movie is The Lion King, of course.
What's the meaning of life?
You just like sent me into a spiral of disassociation. That's too deep for me. It's whatever you want it to be. And just like, don't lie about who you are to try to appease anyone. Just be yourself, unless it's dangerous to be yourself, of course. Then protect yourself and wait until you find a safe place to be yourself.
What musical artist inspired you to make music?
Okay, I hate to answer this, but I'm going to answer it very truthfully and very honestly. Grimes. I know a lot of people don't like Grimes, they hate Grimes, but I remember when I was like 17 years old, like 17, 18 years old, and I was on Tumblr and I followed Grimes on Tumblr, and this was like way before Grimes was like well known at all, like way before they're famous. And I remember getting into synthesizers. I just bought my first synthesizer from the pawn shop, and I was like, man, I like making music. I'm having super fun, like so much fun. And I was just into like sequencing. I was just like sequencing things in sequencers. And like, I remember her blog post where she was like, yeah, if you want to make music, just pirate Ableton. Just freaking pirate Ableton. It's super easy. Throw a track down, 120 beats per minute, 4/4 time signature, and just do what you think sounds good. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. And that's how it all started. Thanks, Grimes, for convincing me to download my first DAW. I really appreciate it. That was really crazy that you married Elon Musk. I cannot believe that happened. That's mind-blowing to me, considering how I remember them, as like a very indie artist.
Favorite juice?
Favorite juice? Definitely apple juice. Basically, anytime I go to a restaurant and they have apple juice boxes, I always ask for them, no matter how weird my waiter or waitress looks at me. I always do it.
What single lyric are you most proud of, and one that made you feel like an artistic genius for coming up with it?
It's probably the lyrics that I'm writing right now for this new song. It's the song I'm writing right now. It's Playground Part 2, big hype. And like the hook is, I bet you wish you could be yourself, afraid to awake the things you felt, not worried about stereotypes. I do what I do because I like what I like. It's like my favorite thing I've written so far.
Favorite hyperpop artist by Red Light Dad?
Red Light Dad, shout out. Thanks for all the artwork. That's also Red Light Dog, I'm pretty sure. Damn, that's hard. Geez, that's so, it has to be like 100 gags, because like they're kind of like the big foot in the door for like hyperpop music. They're like, they kicked the door in and then everyone just started piling in.
What bands did you like as a kid? Whose artistry inspired you the most, you think, to follow and fulfill your dreams?
Probably like this punk band that I don't remember the name of. When I was really, really young, there was this punk band that I used to listen to a lot because my brother had an unlabeled CD that he gave me because he didn't want it. His friend gave him the CD. And I remember my brother used to only listen to really like shitty, like Breaking Benjamin, Avenged Sevenfold, like really boring older brother rock that makes me roll my eyes. It's all like, I don't know, it's just a bunch of people complaining about their parents being mean to them over like gent music. I don't know, it's like new metal, like Korn or whatever. I remember the day my brother put that CD in, he's like, well, I guess today we won't be listening to Disturbed. We're going to listen to this new CD my friend gave me. And he put it in and it was like music to my ears. It like blew my mind. I'd never heard like punk music. It sounded kind of like Black Flag. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. My brother's like, ew, turn this off. I'm going to throw this CD away. And I like remember scrambling like to grab the CD from his hands. I was like, no. I want the CD. Like, he's like, oh, fine. You don't have to be a freak about it. It's like, dude, I've never heard anything like this. I need this. And that's kind of like when I diverted. Like first time I heard like punk music, it's like big diversion. So I went in a whole different direction than like most of the crappy music I was kind of exposed to. I don't have the CD anymore.
Bouncy Castle or Ball Pit?
Bouncy Castle for sure. I actually mentioned a Bouncy Castle in this news.
How serious do you take your music, and how is it compared to the Stab Phantom?
I don't take my music or myself very seriously at all, but I take my community very seriously. And I really care about my community, and I care about the Furry fandom a lot. But my music is just for fun. Even Stab Phantom is just for fun. But I love my friend who I worked with on Stab Phantom. His name is Cole. He's an amazing friend of mine. I've known him since I was like a little ass kid. I met him on Second Life, and that's my homie.
That's it for the interview. I hope you had fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I also had a panic attack the entire time, intermediately, between questions.
Don't worry, me too. So I just wanted to thank you for coming to my channel and giving us this interview. For those watching, I hope you enjoy it and have a happy day. Bye.
Goodbye. Have fun. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.